I'm rooting for everybody black. I am.
Hi guys and welcome back. It's your girl Yummy.com. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and overall vibing, my friends. It is Black History Month and we shouldn't have to wait for a month to celebrate black people.
You know, for the culture.
But we're definitely gonna celebrate them this year because baby, is it a blackity black year. We had Kendrick at the Super Bowl.
I just put the boogers in my chain.
We finished off last year with Beyonce doing the halftime show. Beyonce finally won Best Album of the Year. It is a black woman-led year and I only want to keep that energy going. The black part.
I'm black.
Very.
Oh, but you are so clever. It is beautiful.
Yes, black is beautiful.
Women-led as well, but I have a couple men on what we're going to talk about.
I'm an ally to men, and I would never take away a feeling
Love
from
to
a
hear
man.
that. Thank you for talking to
Welcome.
us.
Appreciate that kind of
I
chatting.
know. I'm doing it for the fellas. Absolutely. Shout out to you all and your community.
I am 10 years on this app. I think I made my first video 10 years ago on a different account. And one day maybe I'll react to that. I thought I could be Jenna Marbles or like Black Jenna Marbles, something.
Thank you. I try to do my best. Like, life is short, but also like terribly and insufferably long at the same time.
However, there have been a lot of content creators that I personally watch and look up to, and I partially model my content after, honestly.
Army with the colorful sets, Oppenheimer with the dang scale, the epicness of the IMAX camera.
They both felt like they were made by real people, not algorithms.
But one thing stands in the way of all this. None of this is real. We're cooked.
They're just very talented, very well-rounded, very well-spoken, and I think they don't get enough credit on this app. Granted, some of them are very popular, so maybe, but a lot of them I feel like are a little bit more underrated still, and they need their flowers. I did this before. I talked about my top 5 favorite black creators. They are still in my rotation. Like, I still watch Tunerific Tariq to this day.
We came here for the Proud family.
Well, pay attention. You might learn something.
Oh, sorry, bro. Hey, can you stop saying the N-word in your videos?
No, nigga.
That being said, again, all of the creators on my last list I still check into from time to time, or I religiously watch. I do, however, have more creators that I listened to and watched back then, or that I've come in encounter with recently that I've just completely fallen in love with their style, their aesthetic. And granted, there are a lot of powerful and lovely creators on this app that are not black, but I prefer to talk about the ones that are because, you know, uplift the community, the culture.
I am the one.
This is another top 5, my friends, and thank you for joining me. To get started on this list, I'm going to let you know right off the bat, it's not 5. I know, I always lie, I say top 5 plus. It's 5, but then there's 2 creators. But for now, we'll start with our creators. And our first one is, and excuse me if I get any of the names wrong, as a person whose name is constantly misspoken, I am apologizing off the bat. I'm trying my very best. But it is Zevi, I believe.
Meet Aubrey Graham. See, Aubrey had a problem. Everyone hated him. And it's so much more people than you can imagine. I'm gonna need y'all to lock in.
For those of you who don't know, this is a story time sort of creator. More of a, he tells about how, someone has a problem. And then sometimes, here's where the thing starts to get wicked.
Well, because Milli Vanilli had a problem. See, Cleopatra had a problem. But you see, Ye had a problem. People just didn't care. And here's where things start to get wicked. Here's where it starts to get wicked. And here's where it starts to get wicked. Times are changing, old man. People are used to controversy. These past 5 years have been hard.
Like, it's insane. I get all of my information from him, which is obviously not the best. I should be researching myself, and I do. A lot of the topics that he talks about, especially when he goes into history stuff, because he does talk about current events and past events, which I truly love. If you know anything about me, I'm a history buff. AP US History, AP Gov, AP World History, right here. He also talks a lot about hip-hop stuff, which again, I love
that Warner Brothers Studios had another clause in their contract. They still owned him for a set period of time, so he could not release any song without their say-so, which was like for another few years. Prince was like, okay. Warner Brothers like, what? He's like, yeah, all right, I'm fine with it. They said, no, you're not. You can't release music to your fans. He said, as long as you're not getting any money, I'm okay with anything. Boy, if you were predisposed to turn in racist because Kanye said some racist things, then wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster. And I wash my hands of you. Let them turn.
So it really feels like his content is specifically for me. How I ran into his content was, of course, I think how most people did, which was TikTok RIP, but also you're still alive, I guess. Alive, but different. Interesting. I found his content on TikTok, his short form stuff, and then I found out that he posted the longer form stuff on YouTube as well, and I immediately was like, I have to watch it, even if it's horizontal, because you know your girl loves a vertical moment, but sometimes that horizontal shit be getting you, and he really is so good. He gets in depth with all of the stories that he talks about, but he also just ranges like from the creators of Puma and what, Adidas?
That saying, don't mix family with business. Well, the Dazzler brothers take that to a whole nother level. See, they invented these companies called Adidas and Puma.
Or he'll talk about Kendrick Lamar and Kanye West.
He plays the game as well. Everybody plays the game. When you talk a certain way at home, but as soon as your boss calls you, you hit that hello. Code switching, that's a part of the game. But when all you are is the game and not an ounce of culture is in your veins, that's when things might be going a little too far. Again, which is why Kendrick says it's bigger than the music. It's Kendrick bringing culture, rap culture, black culture to the main stage without it being so safe.
He has this theory that I have subscribed to. If this makes me a cult member, whoops. I'm very susceptible to being in cults. It's one of my things. I shouldn't say that on the internet. Don't find me. I'm not gonna join your cult. It has to be a specific cult. I'm still a Christian, you know? Anyways, he has this notion that I subscribe to, which is that he says it best. I'm gonna try and paraphrase it if I can't find the clip.
We're at rock bottom, but like I always say, if a singer makes good music, all can be forgiven. That's not what I always say, but it sounds good. It's like the Kanye Taylor Swift situation. Everyone hated him. He made a really good album. People were like, Kanye's not that bad.
He uses multiple examples, but my favorite one is of Kanye West and Taylor Swift. Celebrities at a certain status, and when they do something terrible, they drop down from that status. And the only way they could really come back and make an impact on that status and get their respected rights back is by putting out really good music as a musician. He always uses the example of Taylor Swift and Kanye West. He also recently put out a video talking about Kanye West in that situation and how he has used that as mass marketing manipulation, and it really does tell a story from Life of Pablo, from all the works that he's done recently.
Even his diehard fans have a hard time defending him because what has shielded him before, the really good music, is not very good anymore. He won't be the mentally ill tortured genius. He'll be the mentally ill guy that makes trash music.
I love a person who puts a puzzle together. That's my favorite thing. So outside of just putting pieces together in puzzles, he's also telling history stories, and even though it's in vertical, because that shit gets me, again, not his fault. I love that he dictates his medium, but I'm just not a vertical girly. But the fact that I'm not a vertical girly and he makes me a vertical girly is crazy. So Zevi is the first one up on the list. I believe I'm saying his name correctly. If I'm not, I'm so sorry, sir. But he's super talented, super funny.
I don't remember all the stuff I was saying about franchise players, so you can understand the feeling I'm talking about. Imagine the Avengers decided to trade Iron Man for Green Lantern. I mean, Green Lantern could bang out, I guess, but what? If One Direction said, we give you Harry Styles, you give us Justin Timberlake. Destiny's Child saying, what if we give up Beyonce and just pick up Alicia Keys? Dragon Ball Z saying, we don't want Goku, give us Sasuke. America giving up Obama for who? Stop playing with me. My dog Obama won a bum, but let's get serious. Like my other examples, this trade isn't bad by any means, but it's certainly shocking.
And like really has formatted and honed in on his own format and craft. So he'll start off with this person had a problem, and then he'll lead us into the thick of it with the here's where it starts to get wicked. And that's when you know the story's gonna get juicy. So we love it, we appreciate it, and we're moving on. Our next creator, like I said, is a top 5 plus. There are 2 separate creators for this.
I'm sorry. Are you
you mad. You guys are mad at me.
The reason why there are two creators is because these two creators create similar content, I want to say. They have similar vibes and essences.
Her pastimes include being black, brand names, and making these white bitches cry.
I think both of them are Nigerian. One of them, I believe, is Nigerian. I'm not sure if the other one is. But she gives me like she was raised by a Nigerian vibe, so I always like lump her in with this person.
It is both Shay A.
I'm a witch. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
And Cameron Suzanne.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And it's your girl Cameron. Thank you guys for watching today.
First, we're going to talk about Shay A. I love Shay A. She is the Nigerian one. I know that shit for a fact.
Ugh, at your big age, aren't you embarrassed? What are you doing with a bunch of early 20-something-year-olds? Are you not ashamed? Ew!
The second she opened her mouth, I was like, wonders shall never cease. Oh, it's a girly. It's a girly from the, I got it. Ah, bado. You're giving first generation. You're giving like you the same trauma as me, and I love and appreciate that. I will love you forever. Because there's a specific way to deal with trauma, especially when you're like in showbiz a little bit. I'm not like in showbiz like she is. She's a model, I believe.
Yeah, I do model too, y'all. Let's get into it. Yeah.
But when you're in like showbiz media and then you're African and then there's a special little corner of crazy that like is running your life, and I think that she runs it really well. The content that I actually got hooked into was her Gossip Girl stuff. I think she was ranking Blair's worst exes, and that shit hits me everywhere because I love Leighton Meester. Blair's one of my favorite characters written in TV history.
Haven't you heard? I'm the crazy bitch around here.
So of course I like vibed with it and connected with it.
And she ends up giving it to Blair, who then gives it to Chuck because love, I guess. Girl, stand up. Stand up. What has this man done for you that is worth giving him this painting? Please be so for real, Blair, please. Maybe if I had the amount of money she has, I would be as delusional. I don't know. Let's seek employment. I know you can't because you're in jail, but like, let's find a hobby. Let's find God. They have a prison counselor, I'm assuming. Let's do literally anything else but this.
She also was talking about America's Next Top Model. She has experience as a model, so she was talking about that. My favorite line, I think I try and use it in every video, but it never really fits. But it's when she's talking about money and being African, and I was like, ooh, I relate.
Asking Shalom, if the modeling industry is so harmful, why do you willingly choose to participate in it? Let's do some ASMR. I am a Nigerian woman. I like money. I'm sorry. Is that controversial to say? I'm sorry. I like financial stability, okay?
Homegirl, you were correct. You were correct. Because that check, to an African, a good check, you could do a lot of things with a good check. You can do a lot of things. So I love it. I love it. I love it. She's very funny. She's very clear. She's concise. She has a PowerPoint, and we love an organized girly. We love it. Okay, it's like watching Chronically Online, but like for black people shit, and I love that.
Love learning from creative people. Creativity sets my heart on fire. I love that shit. So getting to work with other people who feel the same way is the best thing in the entire world.
We are actually going to switch your ethnicities.
I need to rewind and see who laughed at that. All of them. It really was a different time. That's so bonkers.
The other person in this number 2 spot is Cameron.
Some of you guys have been irritating me in my comments.
You left this out. You're being biased.
I'm not the news. I'm not the news. I'm a YouTube channel.
She's very interesting. I love the topics that she chooses.
Remember the time when Justin went fully R&B, like a flip switch? And I think it's a fascinating conversation that we don't have enough. Stans versus sport fans. What's really the difference here? And today, it's time that we have this discourse. Pull up a chair, get comfortable, because we are going to be discussing where have all the pop boys gone?
She's smart, she's witty, she has a great editing team. Whoever does her edits, I'm like, this is what I meant by like I'm inspired. Like I love watching how her edit works and enhances her storyline throughout. It's beautiful. I also love the topics that she chooses. The way I fell into her videos, I believe I was doing research on Sabrina Carpenter, and she was talking about the pop girlies, and she has a series, like she talks about pop boys.
I don't care what anybody says. One of the biggest of the 21st century, Justin freaking Bieber. Justin was a unique case and phenomenon that emerged at this time. He became the pop boy blueprint.
She talks about pop girls, R&B boys, R&B girls. Like, she really goes through and dives through each of the people's scenarios. She goes into individual stars and her take on their rise and fall. She's very informative, very clear, but she has a clear opinion that is very aligned with me, of course, but also very insightful.
Indie pop boy. This is the antithesis and complete opposite of the flashier 1-2 step pop star.
What the f do you indie pop boys have to say? What are you saying? What are you singing about? A cigarette?
Like, the Grammys happened, we all saw it, and it became a really big, like, picture, but I love the way she, like, is the one, for me, who, like, clocked that.
After doing this video, I wasn't, like, feeling super enthusiastic. I can't even get up here on this camera and lie. I can't get up here and lie to y'all and say that, like, it's making a comeback. I don't know.
She's good. She's great. She's fantastic. She's insightful. She knows what she's talking about. She usually talks about music, which again, I love. That's my bread and butter. That's how I ride. So I always appreciate her. Her and Shay. Number 3 on this list, we are going across the pond. Very bad British accent. Let's talk about, this person has me in such a chokehold. I subscribe to their Patreon. Yeah, he was actually the person who has created my Patreon addiction, which is not great for my bank account. It's Coco Bob.
Fuck. This is so good. If you look and even hear the vocal stacking underneath the melody is crazy. The harmonies are crazy.
For those of you who don't know, Coco Bob is a reactor. He reacts to K-pop predominantly. I think that he always says that his first journey into K-pop was Boy With Love on SNL. He saw that and then that kind of like moved him into it, and then he fell in love with the old classics, which we love a man who loves SHINee. First off, let's talk about that because SHINee was my first love. Minho, that's my first journey into K-pop. Staring at Minho and being like, you're gonna be mine when I was a child. And he was not. It wasn't great, okay? I didn't say I made good decisions as a child. He makes a lot of good content. Not only does he like have insightful opinions and not afraid to share them, I fucking love that about him.
I much prefer the beat without the reggae groove of the guitar. That sounds, this verse is my favorite part musically.
Like, he is like always like, this is what I like. This is how I like the production. And he's always talking about it in a matter-of-fact way, which I will say, sometimes I think even I'm like a little bit turned off by it, where I'm like, especially when I don't agree, like it's natural not to agree with someone and you're like, ah! But I love that he stands 10 toes down on it. Like, he's literally like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like.
I think with this album, they're entering my territory of like Billy, Extraordinary Heroes, and yeah, where even if the music is not my bag, I'm excited to hear what they're going to do. They're not following a dead formula. Everyone is bringing something that's unique to their delivery in the song. And do you know why I'm clapping? Because they're not saying any words in any weird accents, which makes it work. Like, it's not trying to sound like something that's South African, and it's not sound, so it doesn't sound weird.
And oftentimes with the big things, like sometimes I don't agree with the little things, but oftentimes the big things I really agree. My #1 album in K-pop last year was split between Muse by Jimin, which I don't actually know how he felt about. I don't think he truly really liked it. Again, a different opinion, but I think that he really did love and appreciate ITZY's Gold, which was my other album that from K-pop that I absolutely loved so much that I put on my albums of the year list.
She's painting with her voice. My God, has she always been this? Maybe she's also just grown and maybe missed singing, and having that time off can do wonders for your voice as well. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. That's the moment I'm talking about. We want more. I wish there was more of that.
It was a unmitigated masterpiece, and honestly, I had given up on ITZY, so if I hadn't seen his reaction to Gold and Imaginary Friend, I don't think I would have actually even checked out the album at all. He gets it way more than I do, and also he has experts on his channel. Me, no expert. Me, just pretty dumb girl on internet, having fun. Split splash. Him, he understands production, dance, like what it takes to put on a show.
It's the details of like him showing his face like that.
And he also has a lot of people like Ola is my favorite. I follow him on Instagram. He always has the funniest memes, but like literally he has so many people who are just so cool and honest. I don't agree with all of them. Sometimes I'm like, y'all dead ass wrong. But you know what? That's their opinion and that's my opinion, and I love that they're sharing their opinion. Like, I like getting other people's perspective, even if I don't always agree with what they're saying. I love and appreciate it. I think his channel evolved me as a human.
This is how you reach a climax. This is how you do a title track for your greatest hits album. This is how you just personify everything about 17. The synchronicity, the individuality, the rap, the singing. It's a really good job of them being themselves, but also having fun, great styling, great energy, nice production as well.
He opened the floodgate for me to have now be subscribed to several Patreons, but that was the first Patreon I ever subscribed to. Still subscribed to. Next up, we have the queen of the internet, okay? Not Brittany Broski or Drew. Those are also queens of internet, but neither of them are black. We have the other queen of the internet, which is Miss Khadijah herself.
It's me just trying to be funny and really embrace this auntie culture before people put the label on me without me being ready because I'm old and I'm dying.
Okay, so I'm gonna speed run this and probably chop this a little bit shorter because I realized I already spoke about Khadijah in the last time I did this. I love her content so much, and I guess I've been following her for a while, so it slipped my mind that I had talked about her before. I should have double checked, but here's just a highlights mashup of what I said. I think she's the icon of the internet. I think she's always, again, down to say her opinion and stand 10 toes down on it.
We are gonna die one day. That is the only thing we know for damn certain. That and that Beyonce is the artist of our generation. Sorry.
She's also another person that I've taken a lot of editing and like intellectual cues from. My videos used to be purely opinion, and like, yeah, they're still mostly opinion, but I like have done an exponential more amount of research for like every video going forward, and that is largely in part to her. She makes fun and informative content. I watched her entire live stream about Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us.
And again, y'all are not gonna tell me that Kendrick Lamar is not being pure theater right now. Say Drake. I hear him like him young. Say Drake. I hear you like him young.
I watched that shit all the way through, ate it up, watched it 2 times actually. She is like the thesis of my like entire channel.
What it means to be a woman is a very narrow sort of view, but check out my women video if you want to get into that.
I don't do it well like she does, but I do get inspiration from her constantly. But I got into her specifically because of her horror, black people in horror movies.
You can tell by the increase in production value, today we're doing something a little bit different, something real spooky.
A lot of beautiful styling. It had great like aesthetics. It had great editing, great filmmaking. She really put effort into it, and I was like renewed after I saw that video. I shared that video with everyone I knew, and I was like, yo, everybody has got it wrong. She's the only person who has it right. I love her stuff. She's, again, insightful, smart, genuine, and just a beast, okay? A beast.
Adultification is a term that acknowledges the impact of viewing young children as adults before they're adults. Leave me alone. I told y'all I only have half an English degree. Do you think these scripts are gonna be perfect?
Enough said, go watch her stuff. Like, if you are not convinced, I'm not doing a good enough job explaining why you should be watching her. The last person on this list is my favorite creator to this date. Like, this person put out a video today. I think it's called Why Things Should End, I believe. Why Movies Should End. I'm waiting till after I finish this, which is why I'm rushing a little bit, so I can go watch that video. I've poured myself a glass. Right now, Sir Davis with pineapple juice. I'm going to drink this after this and watch that. Literally, that's my plan for the entire weekend. Probably watch it twice. maybe end up back at that Emily in Paris video he did for the first time, because we're talking about Friendly Space Ninja.
Savannah Lee Smith? Again? Guys, I swear to God, this girl is talented. She's good. She can act, but I don't know why. She always finds herself in those shitty reboots. Girl! Gossip Girl 2021 wasn't enough? You're too good for this. Run!
Friendly Space Ninja, if you don't know, is a creator who makes videos about TV and movies. Clear cut, and usually he's not in the videos, but he'll have a lot of like b-roll, and that's how you know a creator is really good, when their voice is the only thing that you can kind of connect with, and the b-roll of the footage, of course. But they're so funny, so clever, so correct. I have gotten all of my favorite TV shows from this man. My obsession with Blue Eye Samurai spurned from this man. My obsession with Dandadan has spurned from this man. He gives me TV that I love every time. Will I ever watch Arcane? No. But sometimes I think I might, just because he says it's good sometimes. And I'm like, maybe. Maybe. Because Friendly Space Ninja is usually never wrong. That's a lie. Maybe sometimes I don't agree. But maybe sometimes I do. Who knows? The video I caught him on was his first video, which was the Emily in Paris video. He has, I think it has like 11 million views now, but it was a very firm and informative dissection of Emily in Paris. Do not watch Emily in Paris. I watched the first couple episodes and I hated it. And now I solely rely on his review to understand what's going on, because I don't want to do, he's watching it so I don't have to. And I appreciate your sacrifice, sir, because I don't want to see that shit, but I do want to know about the mess. But that was like the first video I ever saw. And actually, I think the next video I saw was him talking about the new Gossip Girl, which he had such a visceral hate for that I truly appreciated it.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? Number 2, Gossip Girl. Okay, this is personal. This is where I'm starting to get really angry, because this is where the show begins to insult your intelligence in the most offensive way. This Gossip Girl is just a bunch of scenes where people talk a bunch of nonsense with woke buzzwords to sound progressive. It's all about the social awareness, baby, but the whole thing is completely brainless. It's unfathomably empty. None of it has a point. None of it is genuine. It's just there. There's no real message. It's just a bunch of random sentences so the show can constantly remind you that, hey, look, we're super woke now. We're in with the youngsters. We hate the rich too. Just forget the fact that our show doesn't actually have a fucking story.
And I'm a hater because you didn't hear what you wanted to hear? Now I have mean things to say and it's all your fault.
I was like, this is the kind of crazy I'm into. Yeah, hate this shit. Fuck yeah. It's the way he was so disgusted with it that had me dying.
I also have to say randomly, I have a deep love and respect for his originals video. It's actually what made me press the subscribe button and stay locked in for every other video. But as someone who loves the originals and highly agrees that it is the best of the trilogy, seeing him dissect it season by season and even point out things that even I didn't notice, and I rewatch that show very often, was just very fun.
I mean, there are characters that just have that thing, that little oomph that is brought to the table by the actor playing them, and it elevates the character to something much bigger than what's in the script. It's like Ian Somerhalder as Damon Salvatore, or Leighton Meester as Blair Waldorf, Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Fleabag, Viola Davis as Annalise Keating, Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes, Neil Patrick Harris as Barney Stinson, or one of the greatest examples of all time in cinema, Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. Some characters are just infinitely elevated by actors, making them feel like individuals, like people with their very own mannerisms and speech patterns. You get the idea. Well, this is kind of the thing with the originals. Almost every character in the show is like that. These actors elevate this cast so fucking much, it's kinda crazy. The Originals, one of the few spin-offs I can think of that ended up surpassing its show of origin.
It was the theme song, the way it opened up, and it's the song that he created, which is my favorite. It's on my playlist. It's literally on it's on all my playlists actually. I have like writing a script. It's on my script playlist. It was on my 2025 playlist. It's on my gym playlist. It's the first song on my gym playlist. It's just me running to it for like the first like 2.5, 3 minutes, and it's literally the line.
You think I'm acting ghetto?
You're weird like Jared Leto. Hilarious. That line, I think I like replayed it like 4 times or 5 times in a row. I'm excited for him to make more music, okay?
The Chappell Roan that everyone has fallen in love with is fictional. Kaylee Rose Amstutz is the person behind that character, and we don't have a fucking clue who that person is. I don't know her, you don't know her, and you probably never will. This is not the person you see on your screens and on stage. But that line between the character and the person is starting to be blurred, mostly because of her own actions, but also because people who support her are being sort of disillusioned as to who it is they're admiring. This isn't anything new, by the way. A lot of gigantic artists we know and love are characters. Some even have fictional alter egos. It's more common than you'd think. The Weeknd is an art project created by Abel Tesfaye. It's a character. Childish Gambino is an art project created by Donald Glover. That's not really him. It's a character he's playing. Lady Gaga is a character created by Stephanie Germanotta. Hell, you can go even further back in time. Ziggy Stardust is a character created by David Bowie. And he wasn't the only one David Bowie created. Beyonce has a character she calls Sasha Fierce. Eminem has a character named Slim Shady. And Madonna has a character named Madam X. This isn't a new concept, and it shouldn't be that hard to understand. Chappell Roan is not a real person. It's an art project. Kaylee herself always refers to Chappell Roan as her project.
It's a full tier. It's why he's #1 on this list. I love getting into the videos. I'm excited for the more music. I hope that he collaborates with somebody this year. There's a specific person I'm hoping he collaborates with, and they're gonna be the person that is the asterisk, one of the 2 asterisks of this video. So with that being said, I love Friendly Space Ninja. I highly recommend you go check it out.
It was a very long process, but I made it. A few brain cells are missing. I haven't found them yet, but I'm here. That's what matters.
The person I want him to collaborate with is someone who was on my list the last time I did this, which I think was a few years ago, and I think they were #1, but it is Miss Kenny JD.
Whenever I see like true crime stuff and they're like, there's no way they wouldn't hurt a fly, I would. Kenny.
She reminds me of Shay and Cameron, in which they all have Penne proud energy.
World revolves around me. Penne.
It's literally a mother convention. I don't know how else to put it.
Just really glamazon women telling stories.
I don't talk shit. I tell a story. I entertain people.
You know what I mean? She's more so in the vein of like a Friendly Space Ninja, in which she talks about TV and movies.
Hi, it's Kendall here. New around here, welcome. Not new around here. What is up, home skillet biscuit?
All I knew is that the film was called Swiped and that it was made in 2018. In fairness, I didn't need anyone to tell me it would be bad, because I already knew it would be, because it had Noah Sintabubu in it. Prince Sabubu.
She also makes music, so again, more in the vein of Friendly Space Ninja, but has the energy and the gravitas of like the bad bitch women I've mentioned on this list: Khadijah, Shay, Cameron.
I'm here to be a silly, goofy girl and have a silly, goofy time. And if I do win, well, that's just because I'm a bad bitch, and there's nothing I can do.
She slowly goes up to him and she says, I will beat you like the that you are. Try me. That seemed to have been enough. Really does show the violence. Hey, sometimes is the answer, because she's looking at him and looking at a lamp, and he sees her looking at the lamp. And so he's like, oh, she might actually kill me. So you lied to her face. You a nasty bitch. You a dirty bitch. You a dangerous bitch. Look you straight in that nice lady's eyes. Pray with her holding hands like, God, I hope they would. Yeah, shut the fuck up. I hate light skin. I'm saying Drake looking ass bitch. And I already thought that he kind of looked like Drake, and it explains it. You hiding kids. Who did it first? This just makes you want to go up to your local light skin and just cuss him out. And I'm like, I'm gonna call my right now and yell at him. You and all your other light brights.
Not that it's okay if anyone does it, but he looked dirty. Again, it's not okay if anyone's talking to you like this, but it's certainly not okay for some ugly dude to do it. You got me messed up. You think I'm gonna let like no one. But you think I'm gonna let an ugly dude talk to me like that? Absolutely not.
She's immediately like, you're not that type of person. Wasn't he making out with you when you were underage? Well, we're in love. Bitch, shut up. You a victim.
This is our new crib set. I'll take it. I didn't know you had any kids. I don't. I can. We can get to working on it.
It's gonna be the year that we get all around healthy, you know? Go to your doctor, go to your dentist, go to the gym, eat some vegetables, take a get medicated, suck a do work not just on time, but early. This the year, man.
I just can't help but sit there and think of the undoubtedly non-black person who is sitting there. This is gonna be played in Korea. The niggers will be none the wiser.
저 궁금한 게 있는데요. 태번을 쓰기를 시작했을 때는 깜둥이
He says too, by the way, several times, often, like 3 or 4 times, just blatantly.
그런 말을 당당하게 적었을 때는 어떤 기분이었을까요? 나 완전 badass, real ass nigga.
I love her as a content creator because she always puts what she cares about first. Like, you can tell that she likes what she's talking about. She's a connoisseur of bad movies. She does a thing called Bad Movies and a Beat.
For those of you that are new around here, Saturday is the day I do something called Bad Movies and a Beat, the series on my channel where I talk about bad movies while putting my makeup on.
If you don't know who Kenny JD is, you should. She has a podcast, Connect the Dots. She's just so smart and insightful. She's hilarious. She's a glamazon. Literally, she's like 6 foot tall.
Before we get started, let's talk about my hair. I look like Agent Honeydew, and I'm feeling it.
Literally, I highly recommend you go check her stuff out. Friendly Space Ninja has given me the best movies to watch. She has given me the worst, and I love that about it.
Can't sing no more because we don't go to church. We don't.
Y'all stop believing.
Yeah, we stopped believing in Christ, so we start believing in.
Y'all stop believing in God, so he took your superpowers away.
Yeah.
Like Steph Curry.
Sometimes you just gotta sit down and watch some grade A trash to remember that you're not the only piece of garbage in this world. And she always delivers with a good one, and I don't have to watch it on top of it. And I love it. I love it.
I feel like everybody is capable of murder if you just believe.
She makes lovely music. I hope her and Friendly Space Ninja collab on a song because they both have similar vibes.
We're saying hair goes yellow. The future in my hand. At least I keep it low. I'm lying in the den. But if you know, you know.
Usually I'm low key, but this week I'm at my break. I wanna dance the whole night away and for a second just not beat me. Go tell my nigga I was wild tonight and watch me lie through my teeth. It wouldn't be. Pour me a drink so that I can think and all my body know is this beat.
Against the Wall is the beginning of like most of my Tipsy reviews. Like, it's one of my favorite songs to this date. I fucking love it. Still relevant to this day because the government trying to tell me what to do with my pussy.
Niggas are trash. Exactly. Old motherfuckers on the brink of death are telling me what I can do with my pussy. So I'm just over here listening to funky tunes so I don't lose my fucking mind.
Mine, literally still relevant. Love it.
I was done. Had to pull out the mama voice because she kept getting on my table like this ain't a black household. Get your ass off that table. And I'm just...
The last person I'm going to mention as a quick little asterisk because they're famous enough is Josh Johnson.
Kendrick Lamar has an incredible smile, but he always seems to use it for dastardly deeds. This man sits.
He has made a very pivotal shift on YouTube at performing. He's made a difference in comedy in general, and I think that we're gonna look back and see his version of comedy of this special events news that is very, like, I would say Daily Show like, which is right up my alley. I had a huge crush on Jon Stewart in college. My teacher showed me one video of him on Double Take, and I thought I was gonna have his babies.
If your idea of confronting me is that I don't ask hard-hitting enough news questions, we're in bad shape, fellas.
We're here to love you, not confront you.
No, but what
No,
I'm
we're here to be
saying
nice.
is this. I'm not. I'm here to confront you because we need help from the media, and they're hurting us. It's obvious. How old are you?
35.
And you wear a bow tie.
Yeah, I do. I do.
So this is...
No, I know.
So this
You're
is
right.
theater.
No, let me-
You're
comes
on
out and you literally
CNN.
say-
The show that leads into me is puppets making crank phone calls. What is wrong with you?
It was crazy. I was like, what an insightful man. He's kind of that vein. I think he is a Daily Show correspondent, so it makes sense.
What up, world? It's Josh Johnson, full-time Daily Show correspondent and full-time black guy.
I definitely, did not sit down with this panel to change any minds, and I clearly have not.
But because of that, he has the ability to use real news events into his set rather than personal events in his life, how most comedians work.
You could fix a small country with $50 million US. That the same country that said no to that is the same country that has bail at heights that are actually unconstitutional for regular people, right? That same country got offered $50 million bond. And they were like, nah. They went to that judge, and the judge was like, no, I heard what you do. You blow up cars for no reason. How am I supposed to believe? They're like, he's not a flight risk. It's like, no, he won't have to fly if he tampers with every witness we have.
With that, though, he changes his set every city, so you never know what you're really going to get. And that kind of breaks the format and the formula of a traveling comedian, really. I love that. It keeps it fresh. It keeps everything, what we're saying, light. And it makes his observations so much more impactful.
It's more than fitting. It's a blessing. It's an honor to talk with you about this, about black music, about black joy. Do you know what I mean? The man has been to space. There's nowhere else to go because he's not going to heaven. There's no more. You have enough money.
It's not a story that's old from news ago, but it's like a recent thing that is like hilarious and crazy. And his sets have been getting longer and longer. They started at like 10 to 15 minutes. Now they've gone all the way up to an hour. And I really just truly appreciate it. I love Josh Johnson. He's really killing it. I'm like in the live. Like when they're premiering, I'm there. I'm in the premiere. 9 p.m. baby. 9 p.m.
White people got together in the park and all dressed like the shooter and had a shooter look-alike contest. I understand. It's a joke that's well-worn. White people be like this. Black people be like this. But can I just say, we have never, as black people, watched the news, seen the suspect, and then went outside specifically dressed as the suspect.
With that being said, those are all the content creators that I really truly love and appreciate. Not all of them, but this is just the top 5+ that I have for you today. If you guys like this, I can do it again next year, or why wait? Because black people are black all year round. We can do it again later.
All he wants to do is sit at home and play jazz, black, and make art that people simply don't understand. Very black.
I got some more names, Shanspeare. I got some more names for you, baby. If you need them, hit me up. So, with that being said, happy Black History Month. I guess, kind of, sort of. I've been dressing like a video vixen every time I leave the house, especially after getting these glasses. They really changed who I was. If you're from the DMV, these glasses give you like go-go pick energy. You're squatted down and you're like, probably in a giant Ravens jersey or something. How have you been celebrating, and what are your favorite black creators? With that being said, I'm Yummy.com. Don't worry, I'll be back, so stay tuned, internet friends.